Welcome back to Birds of a Feather. This is your daily Baltimore sports podcast, and today we're going to be recapping the Orioles game that literally just ended like 10 minutes ago. We're fresh off the recap, and the Orioles unfortunately lose today. They get shut out for the fifth time this year. We didn't score any runs, so obviously we're not going to win the game. We lost 4-0. Tomoyuki Sagano had a great start, but unfortunately the bats just couldn't get going. We had 6 total hits that were all singles. And there's not too much to go over. Obviously, there wasn't much going on in this game, but the series is tied now tied 1-1, and the rubber match is tomorrow at noon. So hopefully we can go out there and get the rubber match tomorrow. But today was kind of a disaster for the Orioles. Again, they didn't score any runs, but let's just jump right into it. So the Orioles went out there and lost 4-0 to the Kansas City Royals, and the series is now tied 1-1. The Orioles went out there and did literally nothing at all. The offense did obviously nothing. The pitching did its job. The pitching did fine. I'm not gonna complain about how the pitching did, but the offense was very pitiful today. There really was only one positive in this game regarding the offense, and that was Gunnar Henderson. Gunnar Henderson went out there and had a 3-hit day. He went 3 for 4 in today's game. His average is up to a 250 on the year. So Gunnar's starting to get it going recently. He has a 3-hit game today, which you love to see. He literally accounted for half of the hits that the Orioles had. The only other players to get hits today were Emmanuel Rivera, Ramon Laureano, and Ryan O'Hearn. Everyone else was hitless. And so the Orioles, just a horrible game. Obviously, this happens, and this has happened a lot to the Orioles so far this year. This is their 5th time being shut out this year, and it's a little much. It's a little much. This is their 5th time being shut out this year. Obviously, all of those were losses because you got to score a run to win a baseball game. And Cedric Mullins goes hitless. Adley Rutschman goes hitless. Just not a lot of good stuff going on. We struck out 7 times, only drew 2 walks. We left 7 guys on base, went 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position, and it just wasn't enough to go out there and win. The pitching did its job, the offense didn't. Just one of those games, obviously, and again, the Orioles have had that a lot this year. But going over to the pitching, because the pitching did its job, the pitching did fine. Tomoyuki Sagano got the start today. Unfortunately, he gets the loss because, he gave up 2 runs of the 4 that were, scored by Kansas City, but unfortunately, Tomoyuki Sagano is going to have to take a loss because our offense didn't put up any runs for him. So Tomoyuki Sagano now 3-2 on the year, but this loss was kind of a fake loss. The offense didn't even go out there and support him at all. But 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and gives up a home run. 79 pitch count through 6 innings. He did his job. He did his thing. He had a very solid outing, gave up 2 runs across 6 innings. Brian Baker did his thing, but then Sir Anthony Dominguez gave up 2 runs later on in the game, and then Cionel Perez went out there and closed it. But, when the game was 2-0, there was just a vibe in the air that the Orioles weren't gonna come back in this game and win. Even when the game was 2-0, there just, for some reason, there just was no confidence within a lot of the Orioles fans and me and everything like that. And it's not supposed to be that way. You want to have confidence in your team, especially if it's a 2-run game. You want to have confidence in your team, but it was just one of those nights. The Orioles, they didn't score in the first 4 to 5 innings, and it just felt like one of those nights where they were just going to be dead silent all night, and they were. They were. And, just really unfortunate. What's also pretty crazy with the Orioles and what's going on right now is, you look at the hitting, for example, right? You look at the hitting, you look at how they're not getting hits. It's not necessarily that they're not getting hits, they're just not being able to produce runs. When one of your pitchers, like Tomoyuki Sagano or Dean Kramer or someone like that, goes out there and has a good game, like Tomoyuki did today, you have to take advantage of it. And I've said this before in previous episodes, but you have to go and take advantage of what's going on with the pitching, because in the rare instance that the pitching's doing its job, the offense has to be able to step up. And this offense is way too talented with Adley and Gunnar and Cedric Mullins and Ryan O'Hearn and guys like that. Way too talented to just go out there and lay an egg. And regarding the Orioles hitting, there is some news about an injury that did happen for the Orioles. as if you're watching on YouTube, as you can see, Kobe Mayo did come into the game today. Kobe Mayo did get called up from AAA today, which is cool to see because obviously Kobe Mayo is one of the top prospects in baseball and someone who should have a pretty bright future in the majors. Last year he made his major league debut for the Orioles. He struggled a lot, but again, he's still super young, still a super bright future. But we did call him up today because there was, guess what, another injury for the Orioles, and that is Ramon Urias. So Ramon Urias has been one of the Orioles' best hitters all season in terms of, hitting for average. He's been great. He got his first home run the other night, and he's been one of the Orioles' best hitters all season, and he has a right hamstring strain, so we put him on the 10-day IL list, and we recalled Kobe Mayo. So Kobe Mayo is up in the majors right now. That's just another injury to add to all the other injuries going on. So that's four key players: Tyler O'Neill, Jordan Westburg, Colton Cowser, and Ramon Urias all down. So when you look at this Orioles hitting, obviously you have Cedric, you have Adley, you have Gunnar, you have Ryan Mountcastle, Ryan O'Hearn, Ramon Laureano, Heston Kjerstad, Emmanuel Rivera, Dylan Carlson, Jorge. The guys at the bottom, they should not be getting at bats in the majors. Jorge Mateo, once again, he's very useless. He's only good if he gets on base because he's great. He's a great base runner and he can steal bases very easily, but he just doesn't get on base because he's not a good hitter. So it's unfortunate what's going on with the Orioles. They have 14 guys on the injured list. They literally have more guys on the injured list than they do have wins on the season, so that's a little concerning for the Orioles. And I mean, again, they won 3 of their last 4 games going into this game. Obviously, they lost today. Kind of messes up the momentum a little bit. But if they can go out there tomorrow and just take Game 3 in this series and just get a series win, that would be back-to-back series wins, and you just move forward with that. But unfortunately, tomorrow is looking a little scary because we got Kyle Gibson on the mound, and we all know what happened the last time Kyle Gibson was on the mound for the Orioles. He single-handedly lost the game in the first inning for Baltimore. So hopefully Kyle Gibson can have a better start than what he did last time. Obviously, it would be kind of hard to do worse than what he did last time. He gave up 9 runs across 3 innings, so it would be pretty hard to do worse than that. So, it's only up from here for Kyle Gibson. So, hopefully by some miraculous miracle, the Orioles can win tomorrow. But the offense has got to wake up because, again, you cannot win a baseball game if you score 0 runs. And that's just the end of the story. I mean, there's really not too much to talk about with this. I mean, it's very disappointing seeing the Orioles get shut out again, but also get shut out for a 5th time because recently the Orioles have been so good at producing runs and hitting with runners in scoring position and doing their thing. And they've actually been producing runs and winning games because their offense has been stepping up. But today was just not that day. They get shut out again for the 5th time. And I keep saying that because when you say it out loud, it's just kind of ridiculous to even hear. But yeah, we're 32 games into the year, and we've been shut out 5 times, so just not a very good statistic. Another thing that did happen today during the Royals game was there was a big rain delay. The rain delay lasted for about, I think, an hour. It happened in the 2nd inning, and sometimes when that happens, it kind of throws a team off of their momentum. But I don't think the rain delay had anything to do with this because Kansas City, hit 3 home runs today. And we didn't do anything at all. No hard hit balls at all. I mean, literally all 6 of our hits were all singles. Nothing very interesting happened in this game, obviously. But, it's baseball. Things like this are going to happen. And you're just going to have to, move on, go to the next day, and see how they do. Because they literally have a game in 14 hours that they're going to have to play. And again, this is literally 5 minutes after the game ended. I started recording this episode. But, it's just disappointing overall. If they can win tomorrow, they get the series win and everything will be okay and they move on from there. But I think they really had to take today, especially with how good Tomoyuki Sagano played. He kind of wasted a good start. He played very well. Tomoyuki played very well, and we wasted another start from him. And, it's just unfortunate. But Tomoyuki Sagano, not even wasted another start. His first start we didn't really waste, but... we wasted a start from one of our good pitching performances, You never want to do that, especially with how, inconsistent the pitching has been, and also with Kyle Gibson being on the mound tomorrow. You really wish that you could have just won the series today, and if you lost tomorrow, it wouldn't have been the biggest deal in the world. But at the same time, this team, can't go into too far of a hole. I mean, even the Fox commentators are broadcasting it, because this game also is on national TV, by the way, so everyone was witnessing what happened to the Orioles today, and everyone was able to witness the Orioles losing 4-0. But even the Fox commentators were talking about this today, saying how you don't win the championship in April, but you can lose it in April. And what he means by that is, if you get in too far of a hole, it's just going to be too far to come back from to be competitive later on down the line. And obviously the Orioles had a really bad month of April, and hopefully this May can be a lot better. They're 1-1 this year in May, or 1-1 in the month of May so far. And I mean, again, there's 6 games below 500. They have to find a way to just get back into the season, kind of like what Atlanta's doing. Atlanta started off the season, I think, like 1-8 or something like that, and I think they're 14-17. So they're slowly but surely, cutting down, getting themselves out of the hole. And the Orioles, again, they have to just stack up series wins in a row and just go on a nice little consistent run, because I'm not going to sit here and say that they have no room to mess up, but I mean, if they go into another little hole of games where they go like 3-7 across their next 10 games, they're really going to fall into a bad hole right now. If they lose tomorrow, it'll be their 20th loss of the season already. But yeah, this Orioles season's been, kind of crazy. A mixture of, very inconsistent hitting, mixed with so many injuries, mixed with horrible pitching. Like, it's just, it's a wacky season, but obviously we love this team to death, and I still believe that they can come out of this. They just have to stay afloat. They just have to stay in it. They just have to stay somewhat in competition with everything, and stay at, have a competitive season. It's like in some sort of way. They just have to stay afloat by the time that Zach Eflin comes back, and Grayson hopefully comes back, and Kyle Bradish and Colton Cowser, Jordan Westberg, Ramon Urias, Tyler O'Neill, all these guys. Once they all come back, if they're in a decent spot, like maybe a few games under 500, I believe that they can then go on a run to eventually get back into the season. But right now it's not looking too good. Again, they play again in about 14 hours, so hopefully they can take the series tomorrow. That would be great if they can win tomorrow, actually, because they really need to stack together some series wins. But yeah, just really disappointing game overall for the Orioles. Pitching was good. Tomoyuki played great, but it was a wasted start because we didn't go out there and score a single run, which is just pretty disappointing that this has happened 5 times this year. But yeah. And thank you guys so much for tuning into and listening to this episode of Birds of a Feather. If you're watching on YouTube, listen to on Spotify. I appreciate all the support from all of you guys. Make sure to sub up on YouTube if you like this content. Follow up on Spotify if you like this content. And yeah, we'll have an episode up tomorrow afternoon, probably right after the game. And yeah, if they can go out there and take the series tomorrow, things will be good. But if they lose tomorrow, the concern and worry and panic just all comes back for the Orioles. So big game tomorrow to go take the series. They're in really no room to mess up right now. They got to stack up as many wins as possible. But obviously we're going to be covering every single Orioles game all year, which we've been doing so far. This is episode 31. So again, it's been going on for a little bit already. I'm having a ton of fun doing this. Even if I sound negative sometimes and things aren't going great, obviously it's because the Orioles just aren't playing too great. So I'm not going to sit here and be overjoyed. But at the same time, you have to look at things with your glass half full instead of half empty, and you just have to be optimistic for the future, which I am. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, this is just a big roller coaster ride, and we'll see where this season takes us as we move forward throughout May and into summer. So again, I appreciate you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.